Cutting your sales cycle in half sounds pretty impossible, right? But that's exactly what Sandler Trading did with HubSpot. They used Breeze, HubSpot's AI tools, to tailor every customer interaction without losing their personal touch. And the results were pretty incredible. Click-through rates jumped 25%, qualified leads quadrupled, and people spent 3 times longer on their landing pages. You can go to HubSpot.com to see how Breeze can help your business grow. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 13th. I'm Jon Weigell here with Maha Abouelenein, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. National Small Business Week just came to a close last week. It came at a time when many businesses are struggling with tariffs and the current economic conditions. Now, though, we're joined by writer, entrepreneur, and small business enthusiast Maha Abouelenein to get into the nitty-gritty on how to actually start, grow, and scale your business among all this noise that we're experiencing in 2025 right now. We'll get to all that in a bit, but first, let's give you the news in business and tech. To start us off here, whatever the next iPhone looks like, foldable or not, at least we'll know that they will be more expensive. Apple is planning to increase the price of the new generation of iPhones coming in the fall, and the company is trying to put the price increase on new features rather than blaming tariffs. Next, researchers at Carnegie Mellon University introduced Lego GPT, an AI model that can generate Lego structures from written prompts. The system ensures models can actually be stable and physically made, whether by human or robot hand. Next, we get into the travel industry. Travel for Memorial Day weekend is projected to top a 20-year-old record high this year, according to data from AAA. More than 45 million people are estimated to travel at least 50 miles from home between May 22nd and May 26th. That's up 1.4 million travelers from 2024 and beating out the record of 44 million who traveled in 2005. Wonder what was happening that year. This year's venturers are mostly choosing to stick to the comfort of their cars, with 87% of travelers, which is 39.4 million people, taking road trips, and hence why airlines aren't doing too hot right now. And finally, Fox is looking to make a big splash ahead of the NFL season this fall. The company is adding another streaming service to your docket as it will launch Fox One. The streaming service will include the entire Fox catalog with news, sports, and entertainment. Exact launch date and pricing will be revealed in the coming months, but I hope you're excited to add another $10.99 subscription probably to your monthly expenses. Okay, look, side hustles fail when they consume all of your time. I mean, every single bit of it. The pros, though, work smarter with AI doing all the heavy lifting. To help you out, we just dropped the Side Hustle Accelerator database. You can search your exact problem for your side hustle, grab the perfect prompt, and get results. If you're struggling with marketing, content, and customer service, it's all solved in just seconds. This isn't just another tool, guys. It's your unfair advantage in a spreadsheet. So stop asking AI the wrong questions and start scaling with what actually works. You can get it for free in the link in our show notes. And you can stop right now, actually. Why don't you take a look down at those show notes and tap the link. You don't want to sleep on this. Okay, onto our main segment today. We're joined by Maha Abouelenein to talk about small businesses and how you can scale yours way up right now in 2025. Let's do it. Welcome back, Maha. Great to have you back on the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good to see you. It's been a minute.
Yes, it has been a minute. A lot's happened since the last time you and I talked. I think we talked maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and things have just been kind of topsy-turvy in the economy. So I'm excited to talk to you about small businesses. Small Business Week just came to a close at the time that this is coming out, and you were doing a daily update to talk about small businesses. So can you just tell me a bit about that?
I mean, you think about like small businesses are the heart of our economy, right? 99% of most businesses in the US are small businesses and like half our workforce. So it's the heart of the economy. So if small businesses don't work, the economy doesn't work. And it's not just mom and pop shops. It's actually anyone who has a company of less than 500 people. So it's like, could be an employees of 10 or 20 or 30 people. So I think a lot about small businesses have to work harder to tell their stories, to get their customers. And we really need to make sure that in an economy that we're in right now, looking at what's happening with tariffs, and if there's a crunch, they're the first ones that are going to get hit because they're not big enough to have shock absorbers to take that. So I love focusing on small businesses because I feel not only are they the heart of the economy, but they're the ones that drive business forward. And more people want to work for a small business than a major corporation today.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about those tariffs. How have you seen small businesses been affected by these tariffs and their implementation lately?
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to a lot of friends who have small businesses. I myself have a small business. I have less than 10 employees. And, it makes you pause. You have to look at your expenses. You have to look at the costs of your supply chain. A big company will be able to absorb those costs into a different department and cut from somewhere else. But a lot of the small businesses I'm talking to are looking at, can they afford to raise their prices because their suppliers are charging them more? Can they afford to keep all the team members they have on the payroll? Or do they need to make adjustments? Do they need to go to freelancers or contractors? So it's affecting them and it's coming up quickly on them. It's not like they have weeks and months to plan on how to do this pivot. They're like doing maintenance on the car while they're driving it down the street.
Right. Yeah, it seems like they have to be really malleable nowadays and be able to kind of flip on a dime. And, kudos to the ones that are keeping up with it. I wanted to know from your expertise as well, what these small businesses can do. Obviously, they have this whole hurdle with the economy right now. But other than that, what can they do to really stand out from others and kind of differentiate themselves? Yeah. Because as you mentioned, there are a ton of small businesses out there ranging from like 1 to 50 to 1,000 employees.
There is so much good news out there. First of all, small businesses can take advantage of AI. How can you look at different areas of your business and use AI to help you scale it, structure it, or even do some of the jobs that you were doing that you were hiring employees to do, or complement or supplement what they're doing? So there is good news for small businesses. They have access to AI and they have access to tools that can help them with efficiency, cost productivity, supply chain, and thinking about how they do things like normal automated tasks that AI can solve. Mm-hmm. The second thing small businesses can do to stand out, and I talk about this a lot to my clients and to my audience on social media, that silence doesn't scale. So what does that mean? It means you really need to be driving your narratives, telling your story. And the good news is you have access. You have direct to consumer access to broadcast stories about how you built your business, pain points you're going through, what are some of the features of the company. Like you can tell stories around the people behind the business, about the products, to create that customer love, transparency, trust, and credibility and authority. So I feel like small businesses, there are a lot of things they can do in today's environment, especially with tariffs or the economic changes that we might see.
Yeah.
Embrace AI. Think about what you can be doing to improve your storytelling. And then the third one that I would like to emphasize is talking a little bit about adaptability. In today's marketplace, if you are a big company or a small business, an employee or an entrepreneur, how adaptable can you be? How can you pivot to the changes? Do you have the right teams that are curious to learn? Are you able to adapt your strategies on a pivot or on a whim? And if not, how can you build a business that can be more adaptable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all great points. I definitely wanted to zero in a bit on the storytelling mechanism, right? Because we see a lot of brands now. I feel like the CEO, the on-camera CEO or the on-camera founder is a very popular thing. Yep. I feel like you would know yourself that all of these small businesses, they feel like they need to engage with their audiences one-to-one on social media platforms. So how do you suggest that small businesses work more with storytelling to kind of engage that audience and start some great business for themselves?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing to think about, if you're not telling your story, nobody is, right? Your story is your superpower. It's not your budget or your products, it's your story. And people care about stories. That's what connects us. That's what builds trust. That's what builds credibility. People follow people. They don't follow companies, right?
Right.
We've seen that even with the elections. Like people care about the person more than the institution. People care less about the brand and the logo, but the person behind it. And so that's why CEOs are doing this. They know that this is the path to building trust and credibility. And we live in a trust economy. People make purchase decisions based on who they trust.
Right.
So what are you doing to build trust as a small business owner in your storytelling? Mm-hmm. A lot of people used to think that building your personal brand was about self-promotion. Look at me, I know things. It's not about self-promotion. It's actually your duty to build your reputation for your business. And when you do, you become unstoppable because you have an audience, you have an understanding of the questions your consumers have or problems that they want to address. having that direct to consumer access is a great gateway for you to tell your story, to build your brand, and to really think about how you can reach audiences at scale, especially during times like this.
Yeah. And you mentioned reputation too, which I think is another big point here, in that you can do the storytelling, you can get out there, but you really have to cement your business as a reliable one for a lot of people and a lot of audiences.
Yes.
So what does reputation in your mind kind of do for your business? And how much would you say you have to focus on that and focus on making sure that people do trust you enough to kind of stay along for the ride?
It's something you should be doing every day. Everybody knows they have a reputation, but they don't think they can do anything about it. They just think, oh, my reputation just exists. You know what? You are an active driver of your reputation. So it's, how do you execute for your customers? How do you execute on your business? How do you treat your employees? How do you treat your partners? All of those things go into building your reputation. Can you do it consistently? Can you execute, and can you bring value? If you can build a strong reputation for your business, you become sort of bulletproof. Like, you understand when problems happen, how to deal with them. And you have customers that know you, that know your story. And, building your reputation is not an online game. Yes, of course, you need to make sure that you're doing it well online, but it's really how you treat people in real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you treat your customers, your partners, your team members, and build a strong reputation? And we know it. We see cancel culture. We know what happens if you make a misstep or you do something. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about you, and it could tank your business if you don't have a strong reputation.
Sure.
And if you tank your business, you lose your employees, you cut off their livelihoods. There's a lot of repercussions for it. And I've seen, because I've done this for almost 30 years now, when a company gets into a reputation kerfuffle or a problem and they don't respond to it properly or quickly enough, the longer they wait to apologize or to admit or address the situation, the longer in space and room for misinformation and for rumors. And so your reputation, I like to call it, is like a currency. Mm-hmm. You need to know what its value, what's it worth, and really invest in it every single day.
Mm-hmm. Now, all these great points about what to do if you're a small business right now to build that trust, to create your story, put it out there. Are there any small businesses that you know of right now that are really doing this to a T, thriving this year, and kind of what sets them apart from everybody else in your mind?
It's a fun question. So first of all, I do this thing called Savvy Hour where I do coaching for small businesses. Actually, today I have a small business. It's a company. It's on Main Street, and I think it's in Denville, New Jersey. And the shop is called Sisters. Mm-hmm. And it's these two sisters, who have a business that sells friendship bracelets and journals and clothing and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? The reason why they're successful is that the sisters tell their story about how they built their business and where they started and how they are picking the products. And I learned a fact from following them that the friendship bracelets that Taylor Swift make very popular, there's a very famous company that started the friendship bracelets. They're actually based in Jersey, and her store was the first store ever in America or anywhere in the world to sell those friendship bracelets. So that local story, that local nuance, that local thing that we are all passionate about, friendship bracelets, allows you to connect with your audience and tell your story. And I just heard that today and I loved it.
That's awesome. Right on Main Street, no less, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's called Sisters, and it's got great stories. I thought that was really cool.
Really cool. I'll check it out if I'm in New Jersey anytime soon. I'm kind of right near there.
Buy some friendship bracelets while you're at it.
Right. Why not? And, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, Maha, is that, given this knowledge, if you were to start a new business today and strike out again, what would kind of be your growth plan? How would you kind of approach beginning it and then scaling it? And what would be your goal?
Yeah, I think about a couple of things. Building my personal brand, because a reputation and relationships are going to be key. Be very good at storytelling. And be very good at listening. A lot of storytelling is listening to what does the audience care about? What are the things that you can do to connect with them? And it's a skill that will never go out of style. No matter how much AI is in this world or it becomes prominent in our lives, it always starts with how do you communicate? Even if you want to enter a prompt, you have to know what to say. And so any small business or large business or solo entrepreneur or employee in a company, I implore you, be good at storytelling, be good at communications, and first and foremost, build your personal brand, because that is what will carry your career in your company or will give you the word of mouth recommendation for your business. And I feel like if we can be really good at storytelling and communications, that's the difference between someone who gets that investment money from an investor and someone who does not.
Wow. Well, that's all great to hear. That was awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Maha.
I always love seeing you and looking forward to hanging out with you again and talking about anything that's happening in today's world.
Yes, me too. Thank you again, Maha, for all of your insight. And we'll have you back on soon, I'm sure.
Take care.
Okay, that's going to be everything for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at The Hustle Daily. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey everybody, I've been listening to this great podcast lately. You got to check it out. It's called Content is Profit. It's hosted by Luis and Fonzie Camejo, and it's brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. So in this podcast, you can discover the secrets and strategies on how your business can achieve the frictionless sale. We talk about frameworks, strategies, tactics, and bring special guests to bring you all the information you need in order to turn your content into profit. Recently, they did a whole episode on micro creators and UGC and how those things are transforming the social media industry, especially for profit. They had a guest on, William Gassner, who is the co-founder of Stack Influence. So definitely check that episode out if you want to learn more about the social media landscape as it is currently. You can listen to Content as Profit wherever you get your podcasts.